As we know, the second stage of the family creation is parameterization. Let's parameterize our reference planes. But before that, let's pay attention to the family properties. First, we see that the host is written here, and this parameter is unchangeable. The second point to pay attention is the category of the family. Now the generic models category is exposed, and we are creating a door. That is, this category isn't the one we need. If we go to Family Types window, we will see a number of standard parameters. Everything is the same as when creating a cube. Let's change the category. Let's do this through the Family Category and Parameters window. Select Doors and click OK. Then go to the Family Types window again. We see that the list of parameters has been changed. Among other things, we also notice the standard parameters like thickness, width, height, and others. They appeared after we changed the family category. Thus, we can conclude that the set of standard family parameters depends on the category. We are not required to use the default parameters, but if there is a case where they can be present, then it is correct to use them, since the standard parameters are automatically included in the schedules and can work with tags. Close the Family Types window and set the size between the extreme reference planes. Let's set the parameterization right away. It will make these planes equally distant from the center. We also need a size determining their wheel's width and the one that determines their wheel depth. In general, it is best to always bind dimensions with parameters to the reference planes and not to geometry such as wall faces or to the geometry of the door itself. Here we can snap to a reference plane representing their wheel depth. There is also a reference plane on the exterior face of the wall, but the size cannot be bound to it. If Revit doesn't offer us the choice of the desired object by default, then you should use the Tab key to highlight the enumeration of the objects. When we press Tab once, we highlight the dashed line. This is the reference plane we need. In addition, you can also snap to the wall face. It is highlighted with the solid line. We don't have to do this, since, in the end, all objects within the family will snap to the reference planes with the specified defined origin parameter. In our case, such planes are the central ones. A longer chain of bindings will create a longer dependency cycle, which will lead to the state when the family works slower. There are also more possibilities that a dependency error will appear at some stage. Let's select the reference plane and set the size. Press the Escape key twice and assign parameters to the dimensions. Let's start with their wheel depth. We don't have such a parameter, so let's create it. This will be an instance parameter. By choosing whether the parameter will be a type or an instance one, we set its behavior in the project, whether it will affect only a specific family instance or an entire family type. We can choose these at the discretion, but in general, the logic is usually quite simple. The type determines a manufacturing product. For example, we will have a D1 type, different from others in its dimensions, height and width of the opening. These parameters clearly affect the product, the way the final door will be. Therefore, there should be type parameters. And then we can have many types in our project, D1, D2, D3, different from each other in width and height. And if there are only 3 such types in the family, then we can be sure that all doors in our project will be either D1 or D2 or D3. and there will not be any other doors of inappropriate sizes. This is very convenient for project unification. Moreover, we can easily calculate how many doors of types D1, D2, and D3 there are in the schedule. But the parameter reveal depth we are creating now doesn't affect the door product itself. A reveal is part of a brick wall. Our door can be inserted into different walls, for example, a brick one with the reveals, or maybe, for example, a drywall without any reveals. And the door itself will not change because of it, so it will be the same product. That is, a reveal shouldn't affect the types, and the way we should calculate the doors in the schedules. It only should affect a specific instance depending on which wall it is inserted into. Therefore, this parameter should be made as an instance one. Let's select the instance checkmark and click OK. This is a family parameter, not a shared one. We hardly need the reveal depth in the schedule or in the tag. We need it in order to create the door opening in the wall geometrically correct, nothing more. There are cases where the left and right reveals may differ in sizes. I will call the first parameter as the left reveal. And it will also be an instance parameter. The second one will be named right reveal. And I will select the instance checkmark again. Now let's assign the width parameter to the size between the extreme reference planes. Width is the default parameter for the door category. Just pick it from the list. In the ref level view, our parameterization is finished. Now let's go to the elevation view. I will open the placement site. I will create a reference plane, defining the opening height. And one more reference plane, setting the top reveal. I will expose these sizes. Unlike the Magic Generic Model template, there is no overlap of the reference level and the reference plane. It is only the reference level that passes along the lower wall face. We will snap to it. I will put the second size to determine the top reveal height. For the opening total height, let's choose a ready-made standard parameter. Let's create a new parameter for the reveal height. I'll call it as the reveal top. And it will be an instance parameter. Note that the standard width and height are type parameters. We cannot edit or delete the standard parameters, but you can still turn them into instance ones. To do this, you need to select the size with the assigned parameter and set the instance parameter checkbox. However, it is not required in our case. Let's go back to the ref level floor plan and save our family. Use the file save as command. I will name the family as follows.